Hey guys, it's Trish here. Do you ever get stuck in life? Like, you just don't know how to get a handle on it? Like, life is still going, it's still moving, it's fast pacing. There's still 7 a.m. that's coming the next morning, and you just don't know what to do. Like, life is just passing you by, and the same old thing every day. You wake up, you know you have a job, you know you have children, you know that 3 day a meal every day. The life is the same thing every day. You kiss your husband goodbye or you don't kiss your husband goodbye. You're fighting in the morning. You're not fighting in the morning. You need that 10th cup of coffee for the day because you just don't know how you're going to get through because you're so damn tired. That's where I am right now in my point of life, guys. And I just can't get a hold on life. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the things that are going on, why life is doing the way it is. Where is the end, guys? I mean, every day there's another bill, there's another, um, you're just so stuck and just torn between the two. That's where I am. I have so many dreams and goals and so much ambition to come alive. I have so many organizations I want to start. I have so many things I want to do in your life. And where do you begin? I was always told my whole life that you can never, once you have children, you can never do anything again. Like you can't. Your life's over pretty much. Your life is gone. So I believed that for a long time. And I am now 26 and I'm here just to say that's not true. I'm starting to believe that. I've been self-medicating myself and doing this experiment with myself. And I know that sounds funny because people are like, how do you do an experiment on your own self? Well, I don't know. I just am. Like, I'm doing things different out of the ordinary. Like, if I don't like something, I'm starting to do it. If I don't understand something, I'm starting to research everything I can about it. And let me tell you, that has made a big difference in my life. Reading, just reading anything, a newspaper, a book, a magazine in front of me, a label on something. Just reading words. Just keep looking at words. Um, Looking at the same word every day. Put a word up you don't understand. Like, for the longest, I know this sounds crazy, but for the longest, I could never spell environmental. I always got it wrong. Until one day, I had to start writing this one word every day because I had to do audit and I had to put environmental fee. So every day, I wrote environmental. At first, it took me about 5 times just to look at that word and be like, environmental, how to keep seeing it correct. And eventually, I just got it. And that's our mind. We have to train our mind. And I think we forget that as we become adults, that every day is a learning process like a child. And even though we become adults, we never stop learning. We need to constantly refreshing. And see me, I was the type, I didn't care about education. I didn't understand it. I didn't care for it. I struggled in school, so to me, it was easier to be the bad child than learn something because I didn't have the resources to actually educate it, educate myself because I didn't have the help at home, you know. And as I'm learning is that we have to break from that cycle of what our parents, because our parents couldn't help us, now we don't help our children. And there are some parents that do get out of that as a young age, but me as a young mom, I didn't know how to do that. I don't know how to, and I still don't know how to, and I'm learning though. And and I'm making these videos to show people that you can change your life. And as eventually as my life progresses and you start seeing different things progress in my life and how my life will become, I hope I'm out there that I can help another mom who's struggling like I am and who is really needing someone to know that exact moment, because every day there are billions of people that walk by us, hundreds of people a day that walks by us, not a billions every day, but maybe. I live in Florida, so it's not that big, but it is big. I walk by, at least 100 people a day that I see that I can speak to or say hello or, ask them, how do you do? Because how are you is too personal to me. So you just want to say, how do you do? For that very moment, are you okay? You know, if you're a believer in the Lord, like I am, you would ask, may I pray for you or something. But every day is just a fast pace in life, and we don't even know the next person next to us. And I hear stories all the time of how, you walk, you knew your neighbor. You 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 welcomed your neighbor with a welcome basket. You can keep your doors unlocked because you know your neighbor next door is gonna watch it. And Mr. Smith down the street, keeps an eye on the whole block. And that's not anymore. You don't even know the person next to you's last name. You don't even say hello in the morning, and you stay right next to this neighbor. That neighbor should be your number one best friend because he's gonna look out for your security in your household. He's going to make sure, you want to have that secureness, front, sideways, and back in your household. You need to know your neighbors, you know? How would you know if you needed to keep an eye on someone, if they were kind of sketchy to you, if you never even took 2 minutes to look at that person? How can you know you live right next to someone, that man next door, the creep next door or something, and your kids are playing outside, but you've never took 2 minutes to figure it out if something happened to your child because you didn't figure out the next door neighbor was a creep. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. Forgive me if that offends some people, but that's the way life is sometimes. I have been in this transgression of, I don't even know how to say that word. Let me stop. I've been through this phase of wanting to speak to people, like wanting to get out there and know more people. Um, just on a more personal level. And people these days are like, that's too much information. That's too this. That's too that. Well, maybe that's what's wrong with people. Maybe that's why we have more people that are addicted to addictions because they can't just come out and speak to the neighbor without someone gossiping about them or telling them how bad they are. Instead of comforting and helping, how can we fix the situation? Maybe we would have more young mothers and dads and grandparents and uncles and aunts who understand how to do these things. I mean, parents don't even know how to parent anymore because we took child education class out where we teach a kid how to raise a baby, and bring, I don't even know how that class went, but yeah, I remember something partial. But we took Mama's Homemaker class out, teaching 101 basic essentials of how to cook. All we know how to do is pop a microwave, I want to call it a Happy Meal microwave, whatever, but one of them Gordine frozen things you pop in the microwave. Hey, I've did it more than over 20 times. I can't say anything, but that's the generation we live in anymore. It's crazy, guys. 26, and I live like I'm a 50-year-old sometimes because it's just crazy to me. And I have to say that kids have changed me in a lot of ways. I still have a lot of addictions. I still have a lot of things that I have to clean out as a parent, but I'll get there. But that's what these videos are, right? Because I started out as being depressed, and the more and more that I'm doing this self experiment that I'm telling you guys about, is really helping me. I'm really learning how to cope with things and cope with my past relationships and past issues that have happened in my life, and just really getting out there and expressing myself and really learning how to speak about my issues without having to be as if a pity party, but instead a self healing party. That's what I'm gonna call it, a self healing party with myself, with me. It's good to get out there and talk to people, but I've did that route. I've did that route, and I've made a lot of distance friends. I made a lot of coworker distance. I made a lot of church distance for the fact that because when you get too personal, sometimes real fast, even though people say they want to hear it or they're there for you, can't always understand the feelings that you are going through, and that's okay. But when you learn how to self heal yourself and understand your value, who you are, the healing process begins. And that's where I am in this healing process of I can get through this, but what are the consequences type phase right now. And learning when to open your mouth and not open your mouth, learning when things are a big deal and when they are not, has been a big factor to me. 'Cause when I learned how to do that, and I'm still learning how to understand that, you'll get it. Talk to you later.